and some of the internal stories on Fahrenheit 451. So, something about the author behind 451 is Ray Bradbury. He grew up in a small town located in Midwestern Illinois, which he then later moved to Los Angeles to raise his family. And this is where he started to write books and begin to have that love for writing. Some or most of his early books consisted of childhood memories, really, that would turn into novels and stories. So, some background of Fahrenheit 451, the book itself. The book was written in 1953, and World War II was the years 1939 to 1945. So you can kind of see the correlation where after World War II had ended, um, this is where Ray Bradbury started to write his book and got the ideas and things like that. Now, a very popular question is, why did Mr. Bradbury write Fahrenheit 451? Well, the direct correlation was Nazis burning books. A quote right under that is what was said about the Nazis burning books was in a website called Fire, War, and Neglect, and it says, "History of knowledge is under attack," which is, completely true. The entire premise of books is knowledge. That was the main reason, and still is the main reason of books. And then burning the books, meaning lighting them on fire and basically just throwing them away forever, was under attack. It was being threatened. And so in 1950, Ray Bradbury wrote The Fireman in just 9 days. So you can kind of really see how this really felt to him, because he had so much to write about and so much to say that he could write an entire book in 9 days. 1953 was when he finally published Fahrenheit 451. Those 3 years in between was just revising, editing, and making sure he was able to publish the book. Now, some knowledge about the book itself. The main topic is burning books to limit or censor what the public sees. Now, that was in the book. However, in the real life events, in the Nazi scheme, it was to burn books to only let children and others view the books they wanted. And in this little visual I put here, what is the difference? On the left, you have the fictional Guy Montag setting the books on fire, while on the right, you have the Nazis all standing around the fire pit full of books. And some of the men who stood against the acts of the burning books in the book was Guy Montag. He was the main fireman who were lighting the books on fire. However, later in the book, he began to really regret the actions him and his buddies were taking. Now, however, the real life events, there was a man named Heinrich Mann, and he's the guy on the left. Heinrich Mann was born in 1871 and died in 1950. He really became an enemy to the Nazis because of his books. Not necessarily what they had to say, so really it was more about him. He eventually had to flee France due to his writings because he wasn't making anything, because anything that he would publish would be burned. Like, all of his books would be burned. So there was really no point for him being there. And it wasn't even because of the content inside the books. However, it was really more of the fact that he was the man who spoke very openly about his opinions toward the Nazis and how they were very wrong on their ways of burning the books. Now, some similarities and differences of Mann and Montag. Heinrich wrote his own books, which is completely different to what Guy would do, because in the book or the movie, it was not seen. He was not seen writing any books, and then Guy would burn them. And so through all that, they're two very different guys. But both did eventually rebel against the common ways and believed that the burning books was wrong. Even though Guy was the one that was burning them, and Heinrich was a man who just was, mad at them burning the books. They both eventually spoke openly toward their opinions. Now, a little behind the book, Fahrenheit 451, Bradbury missed multiple deadlines when revising the text, which I think it's very funny how he missed multiple deadlines when he was able to write the book with such passion. But Bradbury states, I think you should strive to free yourself of the perfectionist reins you hold on yourself. Now, some may think that's just a stupid quote, but really he's just saying to open yourself, to not stick to the strict lines the public has for you, and instead make your own lines, and your own decisions in your own ways. And this is kind of my opinion at the bottom. While most people may believe that missing these deadlines was due to his procrastination, he instead made the book better and just took longer than others to make the book what it is today. Because it's an amazing book. Nothing I would say I don't like about it. That's how awesome it is. Conclusion, these real-life events in the 1940s that the Nazis were doing sparked the idea in Ray Bradbury's mind to write one of his most famous books, Fahrenheit 451. Now, I'm not saying that this is his most famous or this is the one that is the best. I'm not saying that, but this is just one of the most or more famous books. And then at the top right, you can see it was a pleasure to burn, which is just another quote from the book. And then this is my works cited page. Thank you for listening.